In today's tutorial we're going to do a pair of baby booties and I'm going to be teaching you the 3-month sizes and the patterns available for 6 and 12-month sizes as well. In today's tutorial we are going to make these rolled down cuff baby booties just like you see here. We have the full complete pattern. It's not a complex pattern, it's quite easy to do. We are going to be doing the cuff area here and then doing the baby booties. Now it does have a difference of yarns. You can either choose to use what we have is the Bernat Handicraft or cotton or the Sugar Lily and Cream, or you could also use Bernat satin yarn as well. And you can see that the instructions are included with different sizes. So you have the sizes 3 and then 6 and 12. So whenever we go to read instructions, just like you see here, the 3-month is the first number, the 6-month is the second number, and the third number there is the 12 months. And every time there is a change of size you will see that. So in the instep here it's missed the first 7 for the first size, missed the first 8 for the next size, and missed the next 9 for the next size. So that gives you an idea of what to do. So today we're going to need a 4mm size G crochet hook today, and let's get started right after this. So let's get started using a size G 4mm crochet hook. I am going to use Bernat Handicrafter yarn today, and it is a cotton yarn. This kind of perfect yarn for those that are in the south that are pretty hot temperatures. Cotton really does a great job in being able to keep babies cool when you need to be. So starting off with a slip knot on the hook, and that never counts as one. We are going to chain 16 and we're going to create the cuff that is rolled down. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16. So now that I got 16 I am going to do a single crochet all the way to the other side. So skipping to the second chain on the hook, so just go 1 and 2, go to the second, turn it over, get the back part of the stitch only, and just single crochet and single crochet all the way across back to the beginning of the chain. Now that I'm all the way back to the other side I just want to turn my work and start row number 2. So we have to create this cuff until it gets 6.5 inches or 6 inches long for the small size. The other sizes are listed there. So what we have to do for second row, we chain up 1, and if you're new to crochet you may not know what a front loop back loop is. So both strings that you see here are a stitch. If you go into the first string that's closest to you, that is a front loop, and if you go into the back one that's farthest away from you, it's a back loop. So what you have to do is every time you turn around you have to chain up 1 and go into the back loop only of the stitch and single crochet, and you are going to continue to do that. So just back loop only, and this is creating the cuffs that you see that's within the booties. So you just need to go back and forth on the back loops only until this particular piece measures 6 inches if you're doing the 3-month sizes with me. So I will leave that with you, so just have to keep going back and forth, and when we come back I will have the cuff completely done, and then we'll move on to the next part of the tutorial. I won't have it sewn up or anything. I'll meet you back at that point as well. So continue along and I'll see you in just a moment. So I'm coming up to the end, and this happens to be my 6-inch mark of length that I measured up against. And what I want to do now is that we need to work our way along the side of the ridge here. So it says in the pattern that we need to get 23 equally single crocheted spaces in here. Now the thing about it is that every ridge that you see popping out here, it represents 2 rows. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 19, which means that every row cannot equal 1 single crochet each. So this means that at certain points I have to add an extra. So to begin to do this, okay, we need to chain up 1, and we just have to equally space 23. So I'm gonna go 1 and 2, and then the next one I'm gonna put in 2 into there, so 3 and 4, and then I'm gonna just keep moving along, 5, 6, 7, and the next one I'm gonna add 2 into that one, 8, 9, and keep moving along, 10, 11, 12. I'm gonna add 2 into the next one, 13 and 14 and 15 and 16. I'm gonna add 2 into the next one, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So how did I figure that out so quickly? I have experience with crochet. So even though it's evenly spaced, there is 2 in a few of those in order to bring me back to 23. So let's move on, and we're gonna turn our work and go up and do one more row across. So we chain up 1 and we single crochet into each one of the stitches along, and then we're gonna fasten off on the other side. So I'll meet you there in just a moment. So I've now just come up all the way to the end, and I want to fasten off, and we're just gonna snip our yarn, and this will conclude that. Okay, so we just gotta weave in our ends, just do a nice job of it. We have to move on to the next part of this tutorial. Of course at the end you can always hide your tails in a lot better with the darning needle, but I just want to get them out of my way for now and then move on to the next part of this tutorial. So this is what we have right here. This is the top of the boot here. It will roll down like so, and so then this becomes the top of the foot area, and we're gonna do that next. So now I want to hold my project upside down, or to basically the way I was holding it before, and I want to be very conscientious of where we are at this particular point. And so when we did the first row, this was the right side, and then when we did this, this is the wrong side, so we have to turn it back. Okay, so just remember how to do that. So we have to start off by missing a certain amount of stitches before we can join on our yarn, but I'm gonna get my yarn ready on the hook. I'm just gonna put a slip knot onto my hook, and I'm going to begin to count. So it says with the right side, okay, RS, it says to join by missing the first 7 stitches. So I'm gonna count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I think I'm gonna go into the 8th here. Okay, so it does say that. It says single crochet and do a join into the next stitch. Just going to join it. Okay, and then okay, so I got it joined, and then it says to do what does it say? Chain 1 and single crochet into the same space. Got it, just like that. And then it says to do 1 single crochet in the same space as the last slip stitch, which is fine, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 8 and then turn. So the next 8 is all gonna be this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just like this. Okay, so this is what we have going on here. So this is where the instep is, and so we're gonna turn our work and begin the next row. So rows 2, 3, and 4 are gonna be the same thing. Chain up 1 and 1 single crochet across. So please do this for rows number 1, 2, or sorry, for 2, 3, and 4. Okay, rows 2, 3, and 4 are just single crochet across, and this is row number 2. Please do that, and I'll meet you at the end of row number 4. So I've just finished row number 4 here, so I've turned my work and ready for row number 5. So this is the final part of the top part of the instep. So what we want to do is that we want to chain up 1, and we are going to put single crochet 2 together and in the first one. So the first stitch is just in, pull through, going into the next stitch, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops. Now it says to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, leaving you with 2 stitches left, and you're going to do a 2 together there as well, just like that. Okay, and what we want to do at this point is that we want to fasten this off. So let's just trim our work out and fasten this off, and this is the top of the instep. Okay, and you can do a better job of that if you wish as well. And what it says to do is that we have to sew the back seam. So we're going to be able to just go along and just come along and sew the back seam together so that we can do it like this. and I'll show you that in just a moment. So taking a darning needle, what we want to do is we want to put the same color yarn, same material, into a darning needle, and we want to sew the back seam of the booty shut. Okay, so let's just create a slip knot here. I like to do that just for extra security. And what I want to do is that I want to put the two seams together like this, and I'm gonna start at the bottom here and just work my way across. So just jump here and across, pull through, and pull it till you get to the slip knot and slip the needle through the slip knot like this. And I want you just to work back through the seam, through the back of the booty here, and just doing a whip stitch, just up and over. It helps if you trim out your other spare yarns that you've been working with before you do this, but that's okay. So I just want to work my way up the seam. I don't want to do anything crazy like pulling it way too tight. I just want to do a nice job with the stitches and just kind of match these up as we go, and I will leave that to you, and I'll see you at the top of this seam line. So now that I'm at the top, what I want to do is I just want to create a little knot that's in here. So just slide the needle underneath some fibers and just put it through the loop like so. Now the best way to hide the tails in that will never fall out is that if you glide the hook underneath some fibers, don't go to the good side of this project, just glide it in one direction and then come back and go into a different area but the same path in the other direction, and then back into a third down. That what happens is that the tails will never fall out because it's been wrapped perfectly each and every time. So what we want to do is that we just want to trim this yarn now, and this is my starting string, but what we have here is on the other side here we have the booty itself. So let's begin. I'm going to weave in some of these tails that I have. I'm gonna do a nice job, and then I'll meet you back and we'll continue along with the base. So this is what it's kind of looking like at this moment. To begin the next part, you now got to turn it inside out so that the seam is on the inside of the booty, just in here, and this is the good side that you're looking at. So if your baby is wearing it, you're looking at the good side. So eventually what's gonna happen is that this will roll down and you have the nice cuff area up the top of the boots. So let's begin. We're going to move down and start doing the foot next. So grabbing our yarn, what we want to do is we want to start crocheting around here, and we want to do it in a way that the back is going to be matching the top of the instep. So let's just create a slip knot. We're going to join it in the back of the seam line area. Okay, so we're just going to join it right in the back. Might be kind of tight there, and gonna join. So just join it in like so. And it says to chain 2, which counts as a half double crochet. So 1 and 2, leaving this straggler down on top of the line. It just is a lot easier for you to follow. So it says to put 1 half double crochet in each of the next stitches, 6 stitches. So if you count, there should be 6 stitches here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. That is no camera trick. That is the real deal, which is hard to believe for me. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Usually I screw up on these booties so bad it's not even funny. So we're gonna do 6 half double crochets. So 1 2 3 and 4 it's 5 and 6. Now it says to put in 7 half double crochets down the side of the instep, so there should be a total of 7 here. You might need to squeeze some in. So just continue to go. I'm gonna go right in the corner here. So I'm actually gonna go on the side here. So 1 and 2. I'm just equally spacing it. 3. I'm gonna put another one there. 4 5 6. I'm gonna put another one in that one. That's 7. So there's my 7, and then it says to put in 2 half double crochets in the corner single crochet. So right in the corner here I'm gonna put 2. So 1 and 2, and then it says to put 5 half double crochets along the top of the instep. So there should be 5 there. So let's do this. So 1 2, 3, 4, and 5, which takes me then to the next corner, and in the corner it's going to be 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2, and then we have to put in another 7 down the inseam again. So we just gotta equally space that. So 1, I'm gonna put another one there, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm gonna put another one there, 6, oops, that was supposed to be 6, 6, and the final one is 7. And then it says to put a half double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. So I'm just gonna count it just for the sake of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That takes me right back to the very beginning. So let's just do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that was 4. This is 5, 6, and 7, and I want to join this then to the top of the first chain 2, just like this. So pull it nice and tight together, like there. Okay, so that's kind of how it looks like at this particular moment. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? So let's move along, and second round for the foot area. Now for the second row, what we're going to do is that we are going to create a ridge that looks like it's part of like a sole basically. So we're going to count our chain 2, and it says to create what is called the double crochet back post. So each one of these stitches that we worked with, we're going to be working from the back post only. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we are just going to insert from the back. So let's begin. So it says 1 double crochet back post in each, going all the way around. So we wrap the hook and coming from the back out from the side and then back to the other side for a back post, and we double crochet. So that, and we do that for each stitch going all the way around. So we're not adding any stitches or subtracting any stitches, we're simply just doing a back post double crochet in each of the stitches going all the way around, and this creates a really beautiful line when it comes to your booties. Okay, so you'll have a beautiful line there. So again, just come from the back post and do a double crochet back post all the way around, and do that, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So you're gonna come all the way back around. I have one more left, and then I'm just gonna join it with a slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 2. So here's the thing, I'm running out of this green, so I'm going to switch off colors. So I'm gonna completely fasten off at this moment. Technically you wouldn't if you're gonna carry on, but actually it might be a good thing because I can make the bottom of the sole something completely different for a different color. So I'm just gonna fasten this off. You're not supposed to, but you can if you want to, because it is your creativity. You can do what you want. So let me just go to the yarn closet and see what's there, and I'll be back and I'll grab another color of the cotton yarn. So for round number 3 we have to do exactly what we did, and I'm going to start off with this pink. Now I've seen this color combo done in boots before. Looks really quite sharp if you ask me, but that's my personal opinion. So we have to then join it to where we have done the the chaining of 2 last time. Okay, and that's where I kind of fastened out before, and we want to chain another 2. So I'm just fastening on, and then 1 and 2. So for this entire round it's exactly what we had in the last one. So again, from the back post only, just do double crochets, and you'll do that with every stitch all the way around. So I've already shown you how to do that. It's gonna be easier to access this time around because the stitches are bigger than they were in the last round, so it's just a matter of doing it. Okay, so back post double crochet into each, going all the way around, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So I'm just finishing up, and I'm coming all the way back around, and I'm going to join it to the top of the beginning chain 2. Okay, so this is what it looks like at this moment. Kind of neat. So let's begin. We're going to go with 4th round. In 4th round we're going to start getting smaller as we start creating the bottom of the sole. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to chain 1, and it says single crochet 2 together over the first 2 stitches. So in the first stitch we're gonna yarn over, pull through, and in the second stitch yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to pull through all 3. Okay, now it says to do 14 single crochets in a row. So we're going to count these out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now what we have is that we have to put in a single crochet 2 together, and we have to do that in the next one. So the next 2 are together, so just put them together. The next one is a single crochet by itself, and then the next one is together as well. So what you're just going to do is you're going to single crochet yourself all the way back to the back of the heel, but on the final 2 stitches you're going to put the last 2 together. Okay, so make sure you do that. So we're just single crocheting, so you could either count it, but because I've told you that, you can just simply just single crochet yourself all the way to the back of the boot, and the final 2 stitches will be together. Okay, so I got 2 stitches left here, so just in, pull through, make them together, and then just join it to the beginning with the slip stitch. Okay, so let's begin the next row. Let's begin row number 5. We're going to chain 1 and put the first 2 together. So in the first one, pull through, next one, pull through. Okay, so the first 2 are together, and now it says that we need to count 12 this time. So 1, so for 12 single crochets in a row, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now the next 2 are together, so just put the next 2 together. Okay, the next one is a single crochet, and then the next 2 are together. So these 2 are together now, and now we just have to single crochet ourselves all the way back to the start again, and the final 2 are going to be 2 together at the end. So you notice how I count when I get to the halfway spot where I know I have to put those 2 together, but knowing that I'm coming back to the back of the heel, I basically am just relying on instinct in order instead of having to count. Okay, so here we go. We have the last 2 stitches to be put together, and I think that was the last one right there. So the last 2 are right here, and then we just join it to the beginning single crochet that we started with, just like there. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Let's move along to round number 6. Round number 6, we just have one more round after this, but let's begin round number 6. We're gonna chain 1. The first 2 are together, and so we're just gonna put the 2 together just like that. And it says for number 6 there's gonna be 10 now, so in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and the next 2 are together. So let's put those together. The next one is a single crochet, and then the next 2 are together. Just like there. And then the rest of them are all just going to be single crochets all the way back, and the final 2 will be 2 together. So what we're doing is we're creating the underside of the sole. We just have one more round left, and then we just have to sew the seam line at the bottom of the stock or of the booty. So we're coming back to the start. We just got to keep an eye on where we are. The last 2 are going to be together. So here's together, and then just join it to the first one. Okay, so let's move along and we're going to round number 7, the final round of these booties for today. So the final round we're going to chain up 1, the first 2 are together, and for number 7 we have to crochet for 8 in a row for the next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then the next 2 are 7 and then 8, sorry, and then the next 2 are together, and then the next one is by itself, and then the next 2 are together, just like that, and then the rest of them all the way to the back is going to be 1 single crochet, with the exception to the final 2 have to be 2 together as well. So this concludes on how to do this particular booty. We're gonna do the seam line at the bottom of the booty where we're gonna bring it together. So we're just looking for the very end here. Okay, so 1, and put those 2 together and then just join it to the beginning. So what I would do is not fasten off this yarn like really short, just leave it so you can ram a darning needle through it. And what I would do as well is that we should turn this booty inside out and make sure the seam goes on the inside. So let's turn the booty inside out so that the seam will be on the inside of the booty. Okay, so we just gotta put a sewing needle through here and just bring this together. Okay, so let's do that next. So we're gonna put a darning needle onto this strand and we're going to sew it shut. So the trick is that when you go to do this, you want to kind of make it look as close as you can to being the right shape, and so you just want to go back and forth with the whip stitch along both sides of the seam. Now babies, they can put their feet up in the air quite a bit, so you kind of want to be conscientious of how you're doing the bottom of the booty. You know, other mothers will judge, you know how it is. We're not supposed to, but we do. Okay, so we're just gonna whip stitch our way across the bottom to bring the seam shut. So it's kind of like the icing on the cake. It's kind of like the finishing touches. You feel like you got something done, and so you're just gonna have to repeat this for a second pair. Just watch your counts. If you're following the pattern, it just makes it a lot easier. I had a history, and when I first started crocheting, is that my booties were never the same size. Good luck, Chuck. Okay, so we're just coming up all the way and I'm just finishing up. So I want to come in and I want to just tie a little bit of a knot with the yarn strand, and you don't want your tails coming out. So the secret to doing that is that if you put your hook in or your needle in one direction, pull through, put it through a different path but in the other direction, and then a different path into that another direction, is that you'll never have the tails falling out of your work. So we can just simply just clean up the work like that. Just get rid of all these loose little tails. I'm just gonna trim this one afterward, and I'm gonna turn it back to the way it should be. And let's give it a brief inspection. Okay, so here's what it would look like, and you can weave or roll down the booties, or you can roll them up depending on what you're up to. And you just have to shape the bottom of the foot a little bit better. Just give it a good few tugs. And this would be how you would do one of those baby booties with the rolled down tops, just like so. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, hopefully we have some more free patterns and etc. available to you real soon. Until then, we'll see you. Bye bye.